Hey everybody, welcome to One Flight Down Basement Beer Tastings. Today we're looking at a couple of beers from the Snake Lake Brewing Company in Sylvan Lake, Alberta.
One, two, one, two, three.
So this episode's going out to my friends George and Audra, who recently got back from a road trip through Saskatchewan and Alberta. They brought back a bunch of beers for me to review on the show. At least I assume that's why they did. Nobody ever used to just hand me beers, and people hand me beers now. So I'm pretty sure that's why. They went through Saskatchewan, Alberta, brought back a bunch of beers. Today's are from a brewery in Sylvan Lake, Alberta, which is near Red Deer, so kind of like halfway between halfway between Calgary and Edmonton. So they started in 2017, so they're a pretty new brewery. And I've checked out their website earlier. What did it say here? It started as a passion project of a rig hand, an instrumentation technician, and a mechanic. Left their jobs in the oil patch in 2017 to dedicate ourselves to good beer, good friends, good business. And they turned an old Napa Auto Parts location into the craft beer brewery of their dreams. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to do two beers from them today, and the first one we're going to do is called Lady May Lager. It's a Munich Helles, comes in at 4% alcohol. It's got a little logo there for a team called the Sylvan Lake Gulls, which, judging by the artwork, I'm going to say they're a baseball team. And the artwork, it does say the can's artist, featuring the artwork of Aaron Garand of Lady May Tattoo. So that's where the name came from for the beer. Says that it's 23 IBUs. It also lists the SRM, which I know is like the color indicator. It says that is 2.8, so it's going to be very light. And it's got two other things here, an SG of 1.041 and an FG of 1.010. I have no idea what either of those mean. I've never seen them listed on beers before. If I'd noticed it was here before I started recording, I would have looked it up and given you some insight. But I didn't do that. So I don't know what those are. All right, I'm going to crack this open. All right. And obviously I don't have any Snake Lake Brewing glassware, so here we go. And this is a nice plain pint glass. Oh yeah, this pours out nice and light. Wow. I don't know if you can see just how light that is. It'll be no problem seeing through that at all. I think I'm going to just start hard pouring. Everyone's been pressuring me to hard pour in my videos these days. I know a lot of guys out there, different beer reviewers. Brian, the beer snob, he does his beer videos from the Hard Pour Pub, which is his basement pub, and I've noticed a few other guys have been adopting that. Nutmeg 2 Palmetto does that. Shane's Craft Beer Reviews does that. I might start hard pouring, mostly because when I do a kind of crappy pour, if I do it if I say it's a hard pour, then that means I just, I'm doing it on purpose, not just kind of doing a shitty pour. Anyway, if you look at this is a very light beer. Like no problem seeing through that at all, right? Like that is crystal clear. Again, it's a 4% beer, so I guess that's not too surprising. Let's check what it's like on the nose. A very strong bready note. I mean, that's pretty common for a lager, but it's very strong, a lot stronger. Sometimes you get lagers that just don't have much of an aroma at all. But that's pretty strong. Let's go in for a taste. That is very crisp and refreshing. That's quite nice. Really, really crisp up front, and then just a very, very smooth finish. Very little aftertaste. That's quite nice. I always find lagers hard to do videos on, because there's not much to say. It's a pretty standard beer style. Yeah, I mean, unless you get like an exceptionally good one or an exceptionally bad one, it's kind of hard to really discern much in there. But I mean, I will say this is very, very crisp and nice. Like I'll have the odd lager that I just doesn't do it for me, right? Um, yeah, this one's quite good. Yeah, I really like that a lot. Okay, let's check out their website. I opened it up earlier and see what else they've got available. They got a beer archive. I mean, is that? I don't know if that's stuff that's no longer available, but they've got quite a variety. They've got a Brett Farmhouse Ale. That seems to be a new trend in beers. The Brett. It's a certain kind of yeast strain, and it's got a very distinct taste. Um, Not usually crazy about that style myself, but I know a lot of people who really like them. They've got a West Coast IPA. They've got an American Pale Ale, number one or number 0.01. That'll be the next one that we're trying today. Oh, these are all kind of number 0.01. Okay, so for their first batch of them, I guess, is what they're doing. So yeah, Pale Ale. They've got English Bitter. They've got Hefeweizen. What's this? Space Boots Black IPA. I mean, for name and can art alone, that's pretty cool. I've only, I think, ever had one other black IPA. One or two. Anyway, it's not a common thing. Saison, wheat beer. They got Czech Pilsner. They got a pretty wide variety of stuff. Nipas and Deepas. Gozes. Oh, here's the Lady May Lager that I'm having. It's totally different art design there. Much cooler, way more fitting of the tattoo theme that they seem to have going. But I guess this can was just specially done for this Sylvan Lake Gulls baseball team. So that's kind of cool. I know here in Winnipeg we have a brewery. Or I guess outside of Winnipeg, Farmery Brewing in Neepawa. They do a series of lagers named after minor league sports teams in Manitoba and hockey teams, and I think that's kind of a cool idea, and they're doing something similar here. But yeah, I like this beer a lot. This is very easygoing, nice summertime beer. As you know, we're getting further away from summer. Yeah, I'll be moving away from the lagers and going more into darker beers soon. I mean, to be honest, I think any time's a good time for a good stout. But yeah, generally, as the months get colder, I don't find myself having as many lagers like this. But this is quite nice. All right, so next up is the American Pale Ale 0.01. This is made with Cascade, Columbus, and Mosaic hops. It is 5.3% alcohol, 35 IBUs, an SRM color chart, of course, of 5. So it'll be obviously a little darker than the last one, but still pretty light. And it's got an SG, of course we all know is standard gravity, and an FG, which of course we all know is final gravity. The SG is 11.9, the FG is 2. So there you go. We all know what that means and how important those numbers are. I know to you brewers out there it's important, but to a guy like me who just hosts a YouTube show with a hat that says beer on it, I just want something that tastes good. But anyway, we have that information. If you're really into all that kind of stuff, the gravity and everything, and want to leave something in the comments to educate me about this a little more, please do. That's part of what I like about this, is the kind of back and forth that I have with my viewers. I really enjoy that. Anyways, I'm going to crack this open right now. I don't know why that seemed complicated. I'm going to hard pour. Just for those of you those out there who I mentioned earlier. Plus, I know my friend Audra thinks, who's one of the people who gave me these beers, has always been someone who's championed the hard pour of beer. So I'm going to give that a try in her honor, as well as all the brew tubers I had mentioned earlier. I know the one benefit to hard pouring that I've heard about that has made it a little interesting to me is the fact that like releasing more of the gases and everything makes it easier on your stomach. I don't know if that's true or not, but in my case, it sure wouldn't hurt to at least try it. So that's what we're doing here. Here we go. All right, look at that. Just like a beer commercial. Look at that. I'll get better at this. Or I won't. I don't know. It is pretty beautiful looking, though. Let's take a look here. Oh, it smells good. I'm getting a piney note already, and I haven't even gotten that close to it. But it is also a very light color, right? Like, look at that. That's obviously not as light as the other one, because, you know, this one's a 5. It's a little darker. But no, I mean, it's super clear. You have no trouble seeing anything through that at all. Yeah, it's, let's give it a try. Yep, definitely getting the piney note on that. Yeah, let's go in for a sip. Overall lighter than I was expecting. Not just the color, but the body on that is quite light. It's tasty. Not too bitter, which, you know, like a lot of, you know, hoppy beers can be. Like, I'm tasting the hops in here, but it's certainly not bitter. Yeah, it's quite refreshing. Yeah, that's not bad at all. It's almost like a light IPA in a way, although it's almost 6% alcohol, so it's not light in that sense, but just a very light taste to it. Yeah, fairly refreshing. Not too bad at all. I'm just surprised just how light this is. Just because the other one was like super light, so I was expecting this to just look really dark in comparison, but no, it's quite light. Yeah, this isn't a bad beer at all. But I will say, even though I'm normally a fan of ales more than lagers, if I had to pick one of these I like more than the other, I think it would actually be the lager, just because it surprised me more. Like, I find lagers, you know, it's a pretty basic style, and if it can, you know, kind of wow me on that first sip, which that one did. Like, I just found it super, super refreshing. Whereas this one is, yeah, it's a decent ale. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's good, but you know, it's not like blowing me away in any sort of way. Whereas it's the, no, I mean, I could say the lager necessarily blew me away, but it did. There was a little element of surprise for me there, and on just how good it was. But this is also quite decent. So yeah, Snake Lake Brewing in what is it? Sylvan Lake, Alberta. If I'm out that way, I would like to go check out their tap room, which is, as I said earlier, in an old Napa auto parts store. So that could be kind of interesting. I don't know if they incorporate any of those elements into the brewery, or if, you know, you go in there and you can tell that it's an old garage or not. But I guess all it takes is a road trip to find out. Anyways, thank you all for joining me here at the Terry Isle Basement Pub. And please drop by again. I would love to see you out there. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of these videos. Because I like doing this, and I hope you enjoy watching it as well. All right, cheers, everybody.
I'm tired and I need to go home. Been here all week.